Alright, hello stargazers, welcome in. I hope everybody is having a good day today. Hello. Hello Vessa, welcome in. Meow, but Twitch version. Hello. It is nice to see you. I hope that you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day so far. I hope people are doing well. I was thinking about what to stream, and I think I mentioned this last IRIAM stream. I'm like, oh, you know what? I was asking people on IRIAM, I was like, do you guys follow, like, do schedules help? Do VTuber schedules help at all? And, I was about to say your mic audio's echoing, and I realized I had you unmuted on both platforms. Incredible. What was I saying? Oh, I was telling people on IRIAM, I was like, I need to think about, like, maybe having a schedule at some point. And then I was like, yeah, I need to figure it out. And I was asking if people found it useful. No, you're good. I was asking if anyone found it useful, if they were like, oh yeah, I find it really helpful, or no, I just do whatever's, like, with the Discord, and it's hard to figure out, like, does it help people, if you're if you're not in the Discord, right? If you're only gonna see it on, like, social media? Because we know that the going live links don't really help. I don't know, I'm still trying to get data on that. I can't really figure out one way or the other if that's helpful or not. Brindle, hello, welcome in, how are you doing today? I love that super frantic emote, that's great. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Hello. But yeah, I was saying, like, you know, do schedules help people? Do they care? And I was getting, like, a mix of answers, and then I was, like, talking to people, and they're like, you don't have to be specific with it, you could just, like, have a general, like, today is YouTube day, today is not streaming day, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess that's fair, because I think it's one of those things where you can't really depend on, other people to remember everything, right? And on the other hand, I was also like, you know what, this will also allow me to sort of, ideate better, instead of just being like, oh yeah, I'm streaming today, what am I doing today? I have no idea. So maybe doing this will sort of, like, help. And then, you know, maybe we can do some streams where we think up some stuff and activities together and make it like a little collaborative thing. I don't know. It could be good. It could be good, because if I stream, like, let's say Saturdays, right? And that's usually game stream, we could spend, like, the first, I don't know, 5-10 minutes chit-chatting and then being like, what do you guys want to see for the next week? I don't know. Will schedule be burger or steak? I can't tell, honestly. This is why I was saying earlier, I was like, I want to do some schedule design work, and I really don't know if it's going to end up being something that I sort of overthink the design on. Because I think my deal right now is there is an ideal aesthetic that I want to put into my branding, but I haven't figured out how to do it. So I don't really know what I'm doing today. I'm just sort of going to be playing around and trying new things. I really can't tell, I can't tell how to achieve the look that I want. Grendel says the bouncy emote's been praised too, someone wanted to squish it. It's very bouncy, it's very cute. No need to be too specific, yeah, that's true. Children's Deluxe Burger, there you go, yeah. Probably Children's Deluxe Burger. I mean, it's like, it's not illustration, it's design work, right? So it's not like spending hours perfecting illustration detail, but I also have a lot less experience with the design side of it, so we'll see how it goes. I did make this background myself, but it's like I feel like I don't quite have the design sense down yet, and I don't really know how to get there. I have an aesthetic that is not very common, so there's not many examples of it, right? Like, yes, it's galaxy theme, yes, there's stars and everything, but there's also, like, the huge amount of, like, prismatic stuff going on, and, I don't know, I have a hard time finding similar stuff that gives me enough inspo one thing is, like, I really, really want to redo my logo at some point. I don't like that logo. It's what, 3-year-old logo? I want to redo the overlay. I know I just made this background, but I want to improve the background. I want to improve the schedule. I want everything to feel cohesive, and I think that's the main thing, right? I want to make everything feel very cohesive, and it's the cohesion that I don't have down. So that's what I want to work on. VTubers slap an art piece on the left and very typical neutral schedule on the right. True, true. Here's an interesting activity for the stream. Just checking out different spacey, crystally VTubers schedule designs. You know, if I had enough names, then maybe. But they're hard to find. I'd look at Kaneko Lumi, alright. Why can't I find her Twitter? Hang on. Oh yeah, I mean, no, I get what you're saying. It's like very simple on one side and then like illustration on the other. Hello, Blank. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I'll show you sort of like what I sketched out, and I'll see what you guys think. I'll get your opinion, because I do have some things that I want to sort of talk through, I suppose. I don't know. Sometimes even if nothing, if nothing helps, sometimes just like talking out loud about stuff is useful. All right, let's go to our main scene here. What up? There we go. So this is sort of like what I roughly sketched out as a concept. And it's like, it's not 100% there yet, but instead of, because I know that a lot of people use like the lines going across, and I was like, well, I feel like cards might be more fun. Having like spell cards, right? Spell cards for each day of the week. I originally had a design idea where instead of like an illustration, it was like the my deck box, but I couldn't draw the deck box in a way that looked good. I originally had an idea in my head that it was going to look very natural, like all the cards were laid out on a table, but it didn't end up working. It's basically the industry standard of VTubing. True, yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't really necessarily want to do the lines because okay, maybe it's just me, but I find them harder to read. Like this idea with the thicker block options, I feel like it's easier to read that. I'd flip the image if possible. It might just be me. I think people tend to look at the right side first. Really? You see, I was thinking that it depends on like, you know, how you read, right? Because in the West we read left to right, and like in Japan they would read right to left. So I kind of assumed that if you read it left to right, then you would get the info on the left. That's how I sort of assumed it was anyway. I don't know. Do you guys read left to right with this, or does your, I mean, the other thing is your eye is just going to naturally gravitate towards an image over text, right? Because we naturally look at people's faces sooner. So you tend to catch your eye with a person's face before you catch text. Left would theoretically make sense due to writing, but it's like, here's me, the VTuber, and there's a schedule I'm subtly pointing to. Ah. Most schedule I see are vertical. Really? Wait, what? Huh? Vesta, I have not... What do you mean a vertical schedule? Like on a mobile phone? Oh, you just mean the lines here. Wait, vertical? I'm confused as to what you guys are saying now. Do you mean the layout here? Days from top to bottom. No, yeah, I understand. Yeah. No, you're right. Most of them are vertical. Genesis Prim? If I could spell, that would help. Prism, okay. Yeah, image and then text. I don't know. I feel like I've seen both. I get what you guys are saying with the up-down thing, though. Is this harder to read? You see, the reason I liked it is because I felt like I could make the text bigger and it sort of separates it per day. Whereas the lines, I sort of end up like... This to me feels more like a standard calendar layout, right? Like calendar boxes. And then the VTuber schedule is sort of line by line by line. And it's, I don't know, it's harder for me to read. Is it not as hard for you guys to read? I tend to read it like calendar boxes, right? You like, you know, Sunday, Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it kind of works like that. I mean, yeah, it doesn't go all the way across like a calendar, but that's sort of how I have it in my head, that you can make each object larger if you separate them this way. They are usually in a row, yeah, but if you just cut it in half, I don't think that's too bad, right? But I feel like in terms of the schedule, I see both. I see somewhere the image is on the left, and I see somewhere the image is on the right. I'm looking at some examples that I have, like references, and I see a mix, honestly. I see a mix with the schedules. I really think it's less about where the tech, like, I think it's just the fact that, like, you tend to just look at a character more than you look at text. So if the character's on the left, you're gonna see the one on the left first. If you look at the one on the right, you're gonna see the one on the right first. Like, I think this is some work by Yamio that I was looking at for inspiration. And you guys tell me which you see first, right? Schedule. Like, what catches your eye first? The text or the image? Because I think it's a matter of, like, seeing the face first. Yeah. You see the image, so it's not really a matter of it being on the left or the right. Your eye just naturally goes to a human face because that's just nature. So if I was to flip it, right? I mean, obviously you won't be able to read it, but that's beside the point. Now where does your eye go first? Regardless of being able to read the text. So I think it's like, I think it actually doesn't matter much. I think it doesn't matter what side is what. I think your brain is just going to hard focus on the face of the character, regardless of where it is. I do think having 2 rows or columns is maybe not confusing, but convoluted? Really? You think? Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's the main focal point. If the eyes are looking at you, like, in this illustration in particular, these eyes are looking directly at us as the viewer. These are, like, she's gazing at the viewer directly. So, that's what you're gonna go to. Evil males will not look at the face first. What, do you think it's like a siren? Don't know, but it does feel more uneasy. The starting point of the text is not anchored securely at the border of the image. Huh? The starting point of the text is not anchored securely at the border of the image? I don't know what you mean. The starting point of the text is not anchored securely at the border of the image. You think that this feels uneasy? Okay. Question. Would it still feel uneasy? Where is this layer? Where is this? 1, 2, 3? Yeah. Would it still feel uneasy if it was like this? My gosh, please help me out here. Does that still feel uneasy? Or are you talking about the example, or are you talking about this draft one? Why can I picture you with a stick in here? Here's the weak plan. If you finish reading a paragraph, you jump back to the starting point at the left border of the text. If the border is poorly defined, in this case, in the middle of the image, it feels uneasy. Huh? You jump back to the starting point at the left border of the text. If the border is poorly defined, in this case, in the middle of the image, it feels uneasy. I was talking about the flipped example image. Huh? Do you mean when it's flipped, or... Do you mean just because of the numbers? Is that what it was? I was just doing this simply. I mean, I could just... Oh. Okay. Does it make any difference if... Alright, then I'll just do it the hard way. Does that make any difference? There. Now it's done the hard way. You prefer the first here? Like this? This is interesting. I like hearing your guys' takes and opinions on this. This is kind of fascinating to me. The other. So now you like it flipped. Because this was not the original. This was the cut up version. All right, here. Let me make this easier. So this is the one that's cut and flipped, and this is the one that's normal. I mean, normal in the sense of, like, what the design intent was. I thought that was the original. See? See? Here's where I'm getting you now. Because you're paying attention to the character's image, and it's not, You're changing what you prefer, because before... You said that you thought that the image on the left was more normal, and I was saying, no, I see that, I see it's about 50-50 when I do this kind of stuff. So this was the original version, the non-changed version. This is the version when it's changed. Granted, I know that it wasn't designed this way, so that could be different. You know, that could be like, obviously this had a smoother transition in the center that I ended up cutting here. But do you see where my point stands, at least? That, like, it's not it's not so much based on, it's not so much based on where the text is as it is based on where the image is. I might have confused left and right. For me, the preference is art and picture to the left, schedule to the right. Interesting. If you finish scanning a paragraph, your eye darts to the second point of the next paragraph. The leftmost point of it, the easier to find that beginning point is, the better. Your eye darts to the starting point of the next paragraph, the leftmost point of it. The easier to find the beginning point is, the better. Okay. Does that make any difference here? Whether it's cut in half or not? Whether it's on the left or the right when you're scanning like that, does that make any difference? If all paragraphs start near the border of the image, it's an easy anchor point. Okay, that's fair, that's fair. So, you and Grendel seem to have the opposite opinions then. Because Grendel likes the image on the left and the text on the right. You like the text on the left because this is the border of the entire canvas. And to you, it's more like reading a paragraph. Do I have that correct? That you guys are, like, split? Hello, hello, Ramon. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. I think you guys are saying the opposite things. From what I'm understanding. Also, Yamayuki does amazing schedule design, I have to say. I'm very inspired by this. This is such beautiful work. If the image is to the left, you subconsciously have to scan past the image every time you finish a new paragraph. Huh? You subconsciously have to scan past the image every time you start a new paragraph. I guess I can see what you're saying. Like, because you're going back here in the middle, this is a little bit too close to the eye. So then your eye is darting to the image. Whereas if it's here, you have less distraction from one point to the other because there's nothing in the way. And then the image is just sort of on the side. That's what you're saying, correct? That actually makes sense to me. That actually makes sense. You're not getting distracted by what's in the center here. So then you're able to just go through the whole thing. But then you can still, like, step back and appreciate the image itself, right? You're not just ignoring it entirely. This is very interesting. I really like hearing about your guys' takes on this. Yeah, I do think I see your point. I do think I see your point. I think I see Grendel's point too. Whereas this, yes, it's a little bit distracting, but if you want to showcase the image, then this would make more sense for showcasing, which isn't really the point of the schedule itself. But I know that some people do want to prioritize the fan art and everything, right? Regardless, the direction's not a critical detail. It's important not to get stuck in it. No, I'm not stuck in it. I will probably continue the way I was designing it. I'm just really fascinated to hear how you guys go about it. This is not an element that I'm overthinking, don't worry. This is something that I actually just like hearing your guys' opinion on. I like seeing where a layman's view is on this stuff. I think the most important thing is to design some cards for the schedule days. Yeah, I want to have something. I don't want to go crazy with it. I want it to be fairly simple because the card design needs to not detract from the words too much. Like this works together because of all of the elements that are combined. But when you actually break it down, this is just like a basic line, a squiggle, a star shape, a squiggle, and a line. And then there's a few things that cut the border. This is not super intense. It's actually more intense on the inside with the gradient and the swirls. So, but what about the card thing? I do think blank sort of made me overthink the card thing a little bit now. This is how I had it, right? Yeah. The cards are harder to fit. There's a word whose definition I do not know clearly. A squiggle. Oh, you haven't heard the word squiggle? Squiggle is, how do I describe squiggle? It's like, I don't know how to describe. It's like, just a silly, goofy line, I guess. I have heard, but too loosely. Just, you know, a squiggly line. An anything line. It's not so much a doodle, because, like, a doodle is, like, this is a doodle, right? This is like a full thing. A squiggle is, like, an element of a doodle, I guess. Yeah, it's something that's, like, wavy and swirly and non-specific. Wait, I'm curious. If I type that in, like, what does the dictionary definition tell me? A short line that curls in loops in an irregular way. There you go. A doodle is an artistic endeavor consisting of squiggles. There you go. Yeah, that works too, doesn't it? I like the card idea, but now I'm sort of nervous in terms of the, in terms of it being, like, what's the word? Too, convoluted? Is that what you said? Convoluted? If I make this, like, lighter here, just so I can sort of sketch over it and see what else works, right? I was thinking of just having, like, a simple border of the color of the day of the week, maybe? And then maybe, like, a small star shape here. Because I think this star shape is just, you know, every VTuber's favorite shape is this... is this four-pointed star thing. This four-pointed, squiggle. No, it's not a squiggle. Four-pointed star symbol. And then, I don't know, maybe some sort of nice border on the edge. Or, you know, what I could do is I could have, like, I want to keep it fairly simple. I don't want it to detract too much. But I could have, 4 on each, maybe? Something like that. And then, day of the week could be, like... here, maybe? Like, what would this be? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday. There we go. Something like that. And then this could mainly probably be dark, and I could probably add, like, some kind of crystal texture behind it that might look nice. Or I could have 2. And then this could be, like, a third one here. That might work. Or I just have the 1. That actually might seem... that might be better. That might be better instead of having, like, all across, right? And then we just had, like, I don't know, some fancy swirly thing on the edge. Or I might just leave it playing. Because what's more important is the text in this case, right? So you don't want to go too crazy with it. Do you know about the origins of the days of the week names? I've heard it and I don't remember. Does it have to do with the gods? I can't remember now. I have, but I don't remember now. It is from different gods. Okay, okay. I couldn't remember if I was thinking of the right thing. The main thing about having them all in a single row / column is it makes it very intuitive and easy to take in all at once. My only issue is that, then you can't have the illustration. It would be very, very hard to fit that in. The English and German name days refer to the Germanic gods, but the French, Spanish, and Italian days refer to the Latin gods. Oh, interesting, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I understand why so many people end up just going with the lines, because it's basic, but I don't know. Personally, I tend to not read the lines correctly. Because the lines are like a paragraph, I tend to not read them like days of the week, if that makes sense. It's just not as intuitive for me as something where it is like calendar block. That's just easier for me personally. Friday's Freya's Day? Those are the ones I remember, yeah. I do remember that. Thursday was Thor's Day? Ah, okay. If I was to do that... If I was to, let's just repeat Wednesday a million times, I guess. You see, the other reason that, oh geez, 2 more. The other reason why I like the 3 and the 4 layout is because if I have to crop it, like, let's say for YouTube, then it's not as painful. Because YouTube, for instance, will only show a square. See, this is getting tight. I know they all say Wednesday, just bear with me. And then, I guess you could have, like, an image here? But then you have, like, all of this... What is this? Here's my squiggles! Monday for the moon, Tuesday for Teal, Wednesday for Odin, Thursday for Thor, Friday Freya, Saturday Saturn, and Sunday Sun. Ah, okay, okay. Dang, Saribot is on top of it. Thank you, Saribot. But yeah, now it's just like, now I just have all this empty space, and now I have like this really tight format here, and then like maybe I could fit in an illustration, but it's not as clean. Saribot taking your job. I told you, Vessa. I told you. I told you the bots would take over. Every day is Whooper Wednesday. There you go. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about something like this? This kind of feels like a bad use of space. In my personal opinion, this feels like a bad use of space. I mean, yeah, I guess you could... Does it make any difference if you flip them? Probably not. That probably feels even worse. I missed one. How did I miss one? Why are you attached? Does that make it any worse? No, that makes it worse. That definitely makes it worse. And if I just did it like this, then it just... This feels bad. These feel gross. I don't know. It would be a bad use, but it would be original. Very true. Very true. I don't know. I'm not a fan, personally. Yeah, I don't know about that one. You know what? Maybe you were right, having half of it in the days of the 2 rows and then an image on the other half. See, that I feel like that just works better. I'm sorry. Like, I appreciate people's opinions and takes, but I don't... Maybe at least it's like the way that I did it, but I don't think it works. Maybe someone else could find a really nice way of doing it. I mean, the other thing that you could try is like... The way I was imagining is more like a week planner where each day has like a timeline going down, but that's pretty space intensive. It is, yeah, you would lose, you would definitely lose an image on the side, which is kind of VTuber standard. Not that I have like that many images that I could keep reusing, but even if I was to just reuse the same one each time, I don't know. It would be nice to sort of... You know what I want to do the image thing? Is... You guys know that I'm not good with getting my image out there. So, if I had a schedule, it would force me to... like, continuously post picture. I feel like there's another way that I could do this, but I don't know what it is. I think what would help, what would make things feel less awkward maybe, is if I had like an 8th day, but it's not a day of the week, it's just another card, and it just had like something to fill the space nicer. But yeah, if I did a week planner, then I don't know. I mean, you could have like little chibi stickers, I'm sure, but the other thing with the week planner is that fits other people's aesthetic. It doesn't really fit mine. You know what I mean? And when I was actually sketching this out, I did struggle fitting them in, because in my head, it worked a lot nicer. And then when it actually came push to shove, I was like, oh, these end up having to be pretty small. The way you could still incorporate the image is to have it cut into the schedule itself. If there's nothing there on Sunday, you could have an illustration instead, and then it's just like a tiny... I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It would be like, hang on, I think I have a picture of this. I think I thought, anyway, I thought I had a reference. It would look more like this. It would look more like a game UI, I think. Like that kind of, right? I mean, I don't know. Do I have a better... I thought I had nicer ones. That might be the best one I have. I mean, you can do it. Or you could do something like this, which is, again, like game UI. It's too big. Something like that is also like game UI. One absolutely atrocious layout I've come up with would be to have the cards in a circle. That would be a nightmare to parse. I mean, it would look aesthetically pleasing. It would have like a very celestial feeling, but yeah, it's crossed my mind at one point, and I was like, no, that would look terrible. One thing I did like, probably wouldn't work for this, I guess, but I did like this mobile phone UI. I think it's for the Prince Sama game. And like each challenge or gacha or whatever, I don't even know, has like a little mascot in here. Oh, this would be hard to fit too. Something like that, I don't know. And they also have ones that are, not with the mascot, but just, like, aesthetically pleasing. Put the cards in a circle, but the days are arranged alphabetically. Do you guys hate me? Do you guys want this to be, like, the worst? Are you trying to, like, win the contest for the worst schedule imaginable? Like, I saw this Reddit post the other day, and it was, or it was probably on Twitter, and it was like, Reddit users try to create the worst volume control known to man. And it was like a contest how bad the volume control could be. And it was, they were doing things like putting the volume on like a teeter-totter, or making the volume be like a button that you had to mash, or like really crazy stupid stuff. That's what it sounds like you guys are wanting to do. Have them arranged, like a constellation from left to right, but offset in height to save space, and then connected via lines like a constellation. What? Hi, Alias. I actually, I do shorter streams than most, so I'll probably be like an hour and a half or so. I like the one on the left with the mascots. What if you did that, but spaced for 7 little drawings, 1 for each day, instead of having the large illustration on the side? Do you mean like... Wait. Illustration on the side. Wait, I wanna try to... When you say spaced out, do you mean like all the way across horizontally, or? Okay, Star had a daring, irreverent, but worth it idea. On the left, you put the schedule. On the right, you draw the heads of 3 wolves howling at the moon. I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. Don't think I don't know what that is. Too short, so I'll be going? Alright, no worries. I'm sorry, I can't- I don't have the stamina to stream longer. All the best. Yeah, Sometimes... Sometimes I wonder how much that holds me back. Anyway. You should explore the mascot drawing talent. If I was to do 7 days of the week, I would probably do them with the base stargazers. Because I have 7, right? Actually, wait, maybe I should... Here's the thing, like... My brand is rainbow, right? I should be able to utilize this really well. I should be able to do a lot with this. I have the ability with the rainbow theme, with the 7 colors, to do more. There's gotta be a good way to do this. I did want to try to have an illustration on the side, just because, like, it is the VTuber thing to do, and, I did want to be able to showcase stuff. The other thing is I was, wait, oh, this is the... Where do I need to be? Here. The other thing is I was thinking that if there's not a stream... Because you guys, I don't stream every single day, right? So I was thinking for the not stream days, I could have, like, Stargazer of the week. But then if I did that, then having the 7 of them doesn't make sense, right? So I would have, like, Stargazer of the week, and I was thinking it would be, like, a community person, maybe? And then having, like, the model art. I don't know. My brain's kind of fried at the moment now. I thought it would be cool, like, for the days that I'm not streaming to do something where it's, like, showcasing one of them. Either with my art, someone else's art, a generic one, I don't know. I'd print each Stargazer holding a card. For vacant days, rate something like resting or channeling magic, but it would be the same vacant days each time. So if I went in that rainbow order, then it would be the same missing Stargate. We would just end up having 2 really lazy Stargazers. I guess I could. I guess I could. People love sleepy critters. You're not wrong, but it would be the same ones each time. I mean, I think, at least for the moment. If I had to draw different versions, I always could. I could always make, like, a sleepy version someday and an awake version another day, and then, like, swap them out if I ever had to. That wouldn't be too hard. But then I would not be able to do a weekly one. I would not be able to... I wanted to do a weekly one so that I could showcase community members. But I don't know, maybe we're also not big enough for that. Or there's probably also not enough Stargazers for that either. I wanted to have a way to showcase one, but... I didn't mean to overthink, but now you guys are giving me ideas that are making me overthink more. That's okay. That's okay. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the brainstorming session, honestly. So it's all good. Let me try to think here. Save the star critters as separate PNG drawings so you can change things around week by week. Like if you're not going to be streaming one Saturday, you can put the sleepy star there instead. Yeah, true. It's just the colors. The colors, dang it. If you have another late night collab, you could put a star with coffee and headphones on for that day. Oh, that would be nice. It's just the color order. The rainbow color order. That's what's gonna kill me. I wanted to take advantage of the rainbow color order because it's 7 days of the week. This is the right time to take advantage of the colors. I placed my idea sloppily sketched in the images and media. Oh dear. What on earth is this blank? Oh my gosh. I don't hate this, but also would other people hate it? Could you? That's incredible. Would people get confused? I don't hate this. I really don't. This would also be easier to, place stargazers on, too. I'm curious. Blank, I'm showing this on screen right now. I'm gonna show this on screen. I'm curious about this. If people don't know the order of the days of the week, do we really even want them here? Fair enough. That is a good point. Alright. I do not hate this. This is actually pretty interesting. It's slightly confusing, but the literal lines connecting it make it easier to follow. That's very true. I think the connecting lines probably help. And again, I would write the day on them, right? I would use the, what was it? This thing? So it's like, the day's written on them. If people can't figure that out, then, you know, can't help ya. I could also probably make it tighter, if I had to. just to like make this feel less cropped. I don't hate that. I actually don't hate this. Looks like a racing track. Nanaciel, hello, welcome in, welcome in. It's an interesting concept. At the very least, you could put M2. Yeah, true. Hello, hello. I could. I was just gonna write it on the card itself, honestly. Playing Mario Kart in the daily schedule. Feels like it, doesn't it? We're trying to figure out how to make a schedule that's like, I had an idea to do cards, but I was told that it was a little too confusing. So now we're making it more confusing. Put the letter of the day at the top so it looks sort of tarot-y, or on the bottom of each card. I guess IDK. That's what I was doing. That's why I put it on the bottom. This is tarot-y. To put it here is the tarot. Nanacia, thank you so much for following. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Welcome in. I wouldn't say the cards are confusing. Alright. Yeah, I do want the tarot feeling. That's why I have the name here with like the banner and everything. It is supposed to give that tarot-y feeling. Alright, let's see here. You know what I'll do real quick is, let me just grab, like, a basic illustration. Just so we can sort of, like... I want to see how this would work real quick. Where is this one that I had to do for IRIAM? Where are you? There we go. This one, and was it this one? Yeah. So if I was to grab something like that, right? Because I'm thinking about something that takes up the screen, because I see a lot of people do this cool fading effect. And then I had it like... maybe something like this. And then... sorry, Shirasu, you're gonna have to disappear for this. Why are these on the same layer? Why do I keep doing this to myself? And then, why is it still, oh, do I have a... go away. There are too many dumb sketches, too many overlays of layers. Where's the logo things? That's probably just gonna say schedule, honestly. Where is that? Here? There we go. Good enough. Something like that, and then I'll erase this. Erase that. Cool design so far? Kaku, you haven't seen anything yet. Blank gave us an idea, and we're debating on it. This is the other concept, is we might go, constellation-based. It's definitely both harder to parse and less space efficient than the alternatives, but it is a lot more unique in a very on-brand way. That is true. That is true. I'd make an art for a gaming one, one for art, one for IRIAM, or just chatting. I want to put like little glyphs on them, you know? Like little glyphs in the background. Symbols, essentially. Kind of like the cards in Genshin, I guess, is the best way to say it. Those are very symbolic looking. Do I have an example of them here or no? Probably don't. Have like a stamp behind each one, I guess, is the best way to say it. Like, okay, here we go. If I had like, if I had like this thing behind each card. So it's like for each thing, right? Each card can be glowy. Actually, this only fits 5 nicely. I wish it could fit 7. If I could maybe combine this with Blank's idea. There'd be a way to combine them. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait a minute, this is actually fairly close. This is fairly close. Hang on, I'm seeing if I have other... Yeah, no, that probably makes the most sense. But then the text... No, there's probably a way to do this. So if I had this, and let's say... I'm just gonna erase this for now, just so I can get a better hold of what I'm doing. Make that in the background. Reduce the opacity here. Why do I keep making these on the same layer? There we go. Move that, change this. Repeat Wednesday a million times again. Everything's Wednesday, apparently. Well, at least Vessa will be happy because then, you know, Whooper Wednesday. So, it's all good. Something like this. Let's see. I wonder how tight we could make them. Actually, it's not a million times, that's 7. Dang it, Grendel. Is this the last one? Okay, this needs to be second to last. Grab these in between. Maybe move those over a little bit. Seven's a hard number to work with. On topic of tarot cards, one other idea would be to have them laid out like a hand of cards on a table. That's an idea I might take for myself. That was actually my original idea. The tarot cards laid out on the table, that was the original plan. It wasn't something I was able to successfully do because I just didn't have enough room with the graphic. But maybe if I changed from having the graphic? That was the original idea, was to make them look like they were laid out on a table and to have, my deck box on the side. I wasn't able to make it work nicely, though. But, I don't know, maybe I'll try it again. Is there a way that I could, like... Try to scatter them a bit, maybe? It's bothering me that I just have this one, like, floating on the side here. It's not jiving with me yet. It'd be better if I separated them more. I did have a reference of card using. Ah! But the problem with that is that they're hard to read if you have them at an angle, so you have to do it top down. Alright, that's a little bit less intrusive in my opinion. Just, like, not keeping them on the side, right? Just having a few that are, like, tucked a little bit closer. You could have the graphic be the literal dealer of the cards, like the image I just posted? What do you mean the image you just posted? Oh, okay. No, let me see if I have the graphic for it, because I did have a graphic that is literally what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember where I might have put it. Hang on one sec. Because I've been thinking about this a lot, guys. I know it seems like, I don't have much, but it's one of those things where I was thinking about it in my head and then, like, never executing it. Where was that? Was that under my idea board? Probably? There's a lot of things that work with cards, actually. So, this has been stuff that I've thought about in the past a lot. Let me see, where is it? I'm thinking of this one particular image. This one. This one. That one. I have looked at, magic spell card references a lot. So I have been thinking about this. You have to find a way to not do it at an angle. That's the only issue. But there's a lot of stuff like that, honestly. And then stuff like... Where is it? Stuff like this too, but if it's at an angle, it's still harder to read. What else? Were there any others? I don't think there were any others. And then there's, like, game UI stuff, but those are sort of more optimized to be something you can swipe through. So it's not gonna be as, Oh, this is what I meant with the symbols. This is what I meant with the symbols. Like, for each thing you're doing, you can have symbols. What do you guys think about these? I'm curious as to your opinions with all these on the board right now. Because, yeah, that brings a lot of new things to the table, doesn't it? It'd be cool if I could animate them. It'd be cool if I could, like, you know, have them be tapped for, like, which day is active, which days are not active. There's so many things where if it wasn't a matter of, like, seeing them all clearly, I could do so many other things. To answer my question at the start of stream, definitely a steak, gotcha. It's not necessarily a steak. Figuring out the visuals, like, the brainstorming side doesn't always make it a steak. The steak part is like, okay, yeah, it's probably a steak. Can you blame me? Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. I'm alright with it. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Those slight angles aren't that harmful. For my example, in the first idea, you could have the different cards skewed barely perceptibly to give the idea they're floating like stars. Yeah, I was doing that a little bit. I had like some of them like turned, right? They're not all straight, they're not straight in a row, right? They're all sort of like a little bit turned, a little bit skewed. And then I like this one, but I think it requires them to be too far away. I think this would be probably harder to read. This is an interesting idea, though. I think that's all of the references that I have for this at the moment. There's all kinds of different ways of doing it, really. Even squished ever so slightly. I don't want to distort the text if I can help it. That's the one thing that I don't like doing, is distorting text. These are definitely all hard to lay out correctly. I'm looking to see if there's any that have cards that are more than 7, and I don't see any. Or I'll see stuff where it doesn't really require that much, room, I guess. You can also do a fan. But again, the fan's too squished. It doesn't work in a fan, unfortunately. It would be cool if it did. Having the curved layout places heavy emphasis on the middle card. Yeah, no, I agree, I agree. I wasn't gonna use it, I was just throwing things out there. I mean, really, these are sort of the main... See, this with the text you probably don't want to do. This is probably annoying to read. So I probably don't want to do that, but in terms of like the laid out cards on the side and the table idea, that was my original concept. I'm seeing if there's anything else here that I'm missing, but I don't think there is. So what do we have here? This is what I was thinking with the symbols and then the words. This probably is not as useful. I do see what you're saying here with the example that you gave. And that's kind of what I was thinking here. But I think it's probably too squished. It works for 3. 3 is like a really nice way of composing things. But 7 is a little much. Yeah, it's just too... It would be too much of the... It's too much illustration and not enough card info. Because you'd have to make them really small. And it would just be kind of annoying. So I did at one point have a concept where it was like... a tiny bit skewed on the table, like this. And I wanted to have this, this wasn't the original concept, it was like not the illustration, but like the deck box that I wasn't able to draw in perspective very well. And then I sort of had my charm on it and everything. I can't even remember what it looks like off the top of my head. And then it has my tassel. This was the original idea. Like, before any of the other sketches. But of course, it there's a lot of caveats to this one, of course. Do I stream at the same time every day? I do, yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll do, like, chill art night stream, but I haven't done those in a while. I want to get back to doing those, though. But other than that, yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard for the past 3 years. So this was another concept. And it does have a tiny, tiny bit of a skew. But it has its own, it definitely doesn't allow for any of the illustration stuff. And it is a little bit more limited. I mean, I have room that if I need to, like, write anything here, I can. But again, it like, takes emphasis away from other, what's the word? From the other days, right? If these are, like, more in the back and these are more in the front. But what do you guys think? With, like, everything that we've gone over. I don't think the skew is very impactful, that's true, but it definitely places more emphasis on some other stuff. But it was supposed to, like, it was supposed to kind of look like that the cards were on, like, a glass table. Like, the idea was it was gonna be very transparent, and these were gonna have, like, glowing effects and everything. I guess maybe I'll just screenshot a few of these, and then, like, sort of save the concepts and... Because now I don't really know what to do. I thought I was gonna go in and just start adding color and detail. Now I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see here. Change all these again. Get rid of these. Move these up. Where were they? More or less here. Okay. And then I have this one. So that one. This one. And then where were the other? And that one, which now it kind of doesn't feel good. Where to put the illustration? That's the thing. There wouldn't be one. That's the issue. Is you would have to you'd have to sacrifice that. You wouldn't be able to have it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not easy. Like, coming up with something that breaks the mold of your standard VTuber schedule is not a smart thing to do. You know, most people just say, like, I want to make the lines pretty, and I want it to look like all the other large, well-known VTubers ones, and then it's, hard to know what works. Did we have a fourth one, or was it just the 3? And then that would be for, like... There's no good way to do this, is there? Is there a good way to do this? I like how this is kind of... I like this part on the bottom, at least. It's probably not a good way to do this, but let me try. I highly doubt, but it's worth experimenting. everything's worth experimenting with, right? I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. It's always worth playing around. You see, a lot of people see me doing this kind of thing as like, oh, I'm overthinking the concept, I'm overthinking the details, I don't need to make it this complex, but it's like, I'm just playing. I'm just playing with the ideas and seeing what might work, what might not work, seeing if there's anything that we could make more interesting, seeing if it's going too out of the natural order of things, you know? I'm just playing around. And I know most people wouldn't be doing this. Most people would just stick with the known template. But if you stick with the known template, then you're not really pushing the boundaries of what you could be doing. At one point, I was also thinking that they could be, Tanabata, but that doesn't really make sense considering that that's only, or Tanzaku, sorry. That doesn't really make sense considering that Tanabata is only, 1 day of the year. Or at least during a certain season. I was like, oh, that would be cool, but no, it doesn't really work. I mean, yeah, you could also do something like this. Probably have to make it a little bit smaller, get a little bit more squished, but... I love how it's still just Wednesday. You have something like that, and this. Oh. But again, you're sacrificing the illustration again. So that's another one that you could do. I'm just sort of screenshotting these. You can combine the idea with the first one I posted, the cards on the table, but the slight hint of stars in the constellation lines. I suppose I should actually make sure that I do that too before I forget. And then here as well? Maybe. Another thing, if the cards are days and there's days with no stream, you could obstruct the card with another without losing important information, saving space. You could, that's true. That's true. But you'd have to relay them out, like... I don't know. I've always wondered if, like, obscuring the day makes it more confusing, or like, changing the spacing, right? Like, I know some people will do that, right? They'll do the lines, and then it'll be, like, 4 lines, because they're only streaming 4 days a week, and that doesn't quite work, because, like, let's say, Thursday is a lot earlier in the week, and it'll get, like, mistaken for Tuesday or something, as an example. Because it's sort of, you're removing it. Less modular, that too, yeah. So, this is one potential idea. You lose the illustration. This is another potential idea that was sort of just the basic one that I had come up with originally, which now seems really weak in comparison, which is why we come and try new things. This is Blank's idea, which is the constellation idea, and then this is sort of like cards on the table, and I guess we probably wouldn't have this be, super intense, but maybe like very faint? I don't know. I kind of just like them on the table, because this sort of confuses two separate subject matters. And this kind of, makes it into one concept. But again, you're losing the illustration idea. Hello, welcome in, Sea Hero. we're talking about schedule design at the moment. We're trying to figure out what works for schedule design. So there's really 4 different ways we can go. What if let me try to, let me see if I can break these down into 4 quadrants to make it easier. So yeah, there's like 2 allow an illustration and 2 do not. And this would be, let me see if I can quickly overdraw what this one would look like. It would be like that with an overlay. I don't want it to be that dark. Alright, maybe let's try normal. Let's try making this into multiply. There we go, that'll work better. We'll do something like that. And then I'll grab the... This won't be perfect, because I'm just trying to add them real quick. And that has a little bit more of a curvature, so that they look like that they are on a table. And then this would kind of be like colored in some way, maybe. I haven't really thought about the color side of things yet. And then this could have like stars or something. Where's my brush for that? Make that smaller. Something like that, maybe. And then probably find ways to make it more intense. Probably find ways to add, like, different effects, colors, crystal. I just lost my stars. Something like that. And then throw on, like, if I wanted to make this look like a, whatchamacallit. If I wanted to make this look like a glass table or something. And then... and find a way to reduce it. I'd probably find some way to make that look a little nicer, but... just trying to get the gist of it. Yeah. So there's like different ways we can go about it. So let's see here. Hello, Nia. Welcome in. Yeah, schedule planning. Schedule, layout, design planning. And then once we have this, we never have to worry about it and we can just keep changing it. Oh. You know what? Blank. If I go this way, I can't skew the cards. Because that means that I have to skew the text the same way every single time, too. That would be hard. That might be a little bit more annoying. You noticed me? I was here like an hour ago? I didn't see your messages anyway. Did you say something? Oh, you did! I apologize. I didn't see your comment before. How did I miss that? I apologize. Was this during the... Yeah, I might have gotten a little thrown off. Apologies. But it's good to see you in here. Yeah, I don't know. What do we think so far? What designs are speaking to us, I suppose. And then this one can also be, where's the... This can be anything. Blank space. You can play around with whatever. So, 2 of these allow us to have a rotating illustration. And 2 of these do not. And I'm kind of inclined to pick the one that allows the illustrations? I don't know. This is where I'm like, I've got the ideas, and they all have their pros and cons, don't they? Let me save this before we lose everything. Let me just quickly save that so we don't lose things. There's a lot of different directions we can go. It's like, they each have different vibes, they each have different works, they each have different feelings. I think that... I feel like brand recognition is a really important part of VTubing. So I'm inclined to feel like I need to, keep the ones with the images. Because... Here's the thing, right? If you know who I am, if you know me, then you know that this is my deck box. You know that this is part of my design, right? But if you don't know me, if you're meeting me for the first time, then you also don't know what I look like. You also don't really have a name to a face. So that's one thing that I'm considering. Do you guys ever check out streamers because you saw their schedule, but you had no idea who they were? You could theoretically set a hotkeyed operation for each card angle to apply, save morphing angles for each card, but that'd be pretty complicated, doable on most drawing programs. That's true, yeah. The ones with the images is more enticing to newcomers. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, yeah, these ideas are cool, but also, like, no one knows who I am. I'm fine with this, like, being on the table thing, and then, like, having an image here instead. Does the angle make it feel like it's on a table, or does that really not make any difference to people? You could save the other ideas for something else in the future. Yeah, that's true. This is probably something that I could end up doing for like YouTube video stuff, because we have a lot of different directions we are going for those things. I don't think I've ever seen the schedule of a streamer I haven't watched in some way before. Ah, interesting, interesting. I think there's been times where, like, I'll check out a VTuber if I haven't seen their design before, because it, like, appears on the schedule, but that's just me, so that's why I'm curious as to how you guys go about things. So I do feel like... I feel like this is more... save for later. Unless I could find a way to, like... I was showing an example before of this guy, but I don't think I have enough room to do something like it. I liked the idea behind it. I thought it was a cool concept. But there's not enough room for 7 cards versus 3. Because it's like, I could try... I mean, my wings would fit nicely here if I did something like that, but... if I had, like... I don't know. I'm playing around. That's what I said before, right? We're playing around. I don't know where my tail fits here. This is a little similar to the panels that I made for Kaku, so I'm really not sure if that would be, like, overstepping hers. The only time I see schedules outside of the specific streamer's own space is when a fan or aggregator posts in a community tab somewhere. You mean like on YouTube? A schedule is rarely the first point of contact, I think, but very often a very early one. For example, after seeing a few shorts of them on YouTube, the app will often show the community post. Nah, that's true. See, one of the benefits to the, to, like, these kind of layouts is YouTube likes to crop things into squares, which is why when you have, like, just the list and then, like, the image on one side, people usually can square crop it. I don't know, because then I could also have, like, I could also draw, like, stargazers here. I could also play around with the... Having our bunny friends here. I don't know. There'd be more room to play with, I guess. Or at least just make it lower so you could see more of the design. I don't know. I don't know. Having some sort of, like, art game, I don't know. This would certainly be a unique one. It would just be terrible for YouTube cropping. I don't hate this, though. The benefit to this is that, well, no, the benefit to this is we could very clearly do a rainbow. You know, if I did, like, if I did that, and then... across the days. Type of deal. Had each one glowing all the way. I don't know. Maybe the stargazers are taking notes from the schedules? Hmm? What do you mean taking notes? Like they're drawing in notebooks? Having the face there is still pretty important. People have a passing familiarity, recognize it instantly. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. There's a part of me that kind of likes it, but I also made it as a panel for Kaku. I think I just really, really love... I think, like, whether the character is good or evil, I really love that, like, God holy pose with the arms out. I don't know. There's something nice about it. Either if a character is good or if a character is bad, there's something very nice about it. Oh, you know what? You know what? Wait, I should look more at gacha games. I should look more at gacha games. Because aren't there a lot of cases where, like, there'll be some sort of UI thing here with the, you know, with the character stuff, and then sometimes, like, really faintly, they'll have, like, an action pose of the character, right? Like, am I going crazy, or is this a thing? Hang on a sec. Wait, I need to find, like, a cool action pose of someone else, because I don't think I have my own. Hang on. I know I've seen this in gacha games before. Wait. What am I trying to think of? I'm trying to get my head around this. Character with a sword, or you know, I'll find, like, a Madoka picture, because that'll fit. Actually, that's probably why I like the pose so much that I was just describing, is because it's literally Goddess Madoka. That's the Goddess Madoka pose. Yeah, like a mural in the background. HSR Genshin, that's a good point. That's probably actually where it's used a lot. Genshin Impact banner. Okay, yeah. The banner, they would probably do this a lot. Goddess Madoka, good. I know, right? That's probably why I love that pose so much. Actually, yeah, I need to look more at Hoyoverse's UI design. I actually am really inspired by Hoyoverse's card design. I have a bunch of those. It's... okay, how about banner illustration? Because I need the one without all the UI on it. There we go. So it'll be something like I want to see Star that pose. I like that pose. It's a good pose. I'm trying to think of which one works best for it. Because some of these are, like, they're good, but they're too close to what I have as a sketch. And I don't want ones with multiple characters, so I'm just quickly trying to find something good. Why are these all multiple characters? Alright, I'll grab the... Nope, that's centered. I'm trying to find a not centered one. Why is this so hard? Okay, this is good enough. It's... Gosh. Focal points. I actually needed to not be helpful. The focal points are too good. Alright. If I just type in the regular illustration, I'm getting all the character designs. Okay, here we go. Yay Miko. So if you have something like that, right? And then it's like the UI of the game. And then it's doing something like that. And then it's like... Where's the designs? Did I do this on the... Oh, it's a screenshot! It's a screenshot. Alright. Something like that, and then it's like... Let's see if I can get this working. It's not working that well. But I hope you know what I'm saying, right? Like, when they do the gacha stuff, and then they'll sometimes do, like... This is not working. Not working visually. But you guys know what I mean, right? When it's like, they try to show the... Alright, get rid of this, maybe. Something like that. We put the cards a bit lower. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is this a screen? It's a screenshot. Okay, well, you can kind of see it. Like, yeah, do that. Something like that. I think a more stylized image works better for this. Less detail clutter. No, hear me out. Let me see if I can get this. Like that kind of feeling. And then even if I don't have the holy one or whatever, I mean, I could still do that. But if I wanted to switch things off... I know, so many Wednesdays. I know, Neo. It's only Wednesday, don't you know? The only day of the week is Wednesday. I thought you knew that. Alright, I'm putting that here and hiding it as an example, but... Yeah, it's like you could keep switching it off, and it kind of has a little bit of that, like, gacha game effect, I suppose. And then you can still read it across, and it's not doing that annoying, like, you know, jumping between the text and the image, because you could just sort of read it across evenly. No one's done something like this before, so, at least not that I've seen. It might be interesting. Nobody's taken a stab like that. It kind of makes me feel weird because simply for the fact that nobody has done something like that. You keep the ones where you don't stream flipped. I was thinking about that because I was, what I wanted to do was like, any days that I didn't have a stream, I wanted to have it flipped, but then I didn't like the idea of just having the blank space. And I was like, oh, I could do something like have an ad here, or or like have like you know, latest art example, or I don't know. I wanted to do something where it was like Stargazer of the Week, right? We could actually do Stargazer of the Week this way. I wouldn't be able to have the room for the bunnies throughout, but I could do something very elegant here. I could do like, if I do this style, and then I have like the symbols in the back, right? And then it has that very tarot-y feeling. This could work. Like I'm not sold on it, but I'm warming up to it. I'm warming up to this like gotcha UI look. It would be terrible for YouTube is my only issue. Like if YouTube wants to crop everything into squares, it's terrible for YouTube. That's my hesitation. I really do hate YouTube's schedule force layout thing. But this does give me a gotcha feeling. This gives me like the UI splash art. The flip card for the empty day also occurred to me, though they'd all have to look the same. That wouldn't be hard. That wouldn't be hard. You just repeat it 7 times and then, you know, turn it on and off based on what you're doing. And then on the top, I don't want to just have it blank space, because that's just wasted opportunity, right? So that's when you do like a fun fact or an update, or like, you know, check the shop or whatever, right? You don't want to have the empty space here. I think I'm liking this though. I think I'm liking this like subtle game UI feeling, because these are good. Blank, I still like this idea, and we would not have gotten here if we hadn't done this. I like this idea, but again, no illustration. You could put an illustration here, but it's tight. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on anything, but the gears are turning. It's interesting, finally something new. I like playing around with crazy ideas, right? I really like trying to push the boundary of what you can do with VTubing. And I'm like, I don't want just a schedule with like the lines of text and then the image. I wanna make my life harder. Oh my gosh. It could be dumb. It could pay off. I don't know which. I'm amused either way. And look, this is the reason that we try new stuff all the time, right? Because this was like our first draft of the concept. Was just like this forced thing and then this empty space and then I don't know what I'm putting here. And then it's like, no, we can play around, we can try new things, we can try to push the... It's so subtle, but I really want to try to push the barriers of VTubing stuff, right? I really want to... I want to do things where it doesn't require technical knowledge and coding, because the people who have the technical knowledge and coding, they can do the craziest stuff ever, right? There's just no way to compete with that. So it's like, I want to be able to do things that are unique, that doesn't require me to know code. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, there's this one VTuber, and they are able to, they have enough coding knowledge, their entire stream setup is a video game. Like, everything, like, Shindig's posted about it. The entire stream is a video game, and everything they do in the stream, or every way that chat interacts, is of a video game. It's them in a world, and basically like SAO. And they are essentially like, doing hack and slash against bosses, and then the chat can like summon things for them, and it'll appear on the stream, and then they can just chill in the city, and have like a just chatting on the top of a roof. It's the craziest thing ever. And I would love to do something like that, but I also don't possess the ability to. Someday, I really love the live 2D evolution I have. I think it's made a big difference for me, emotionally and with content. But I do hope to someday return to 3D. Not in the Fox form, but in this form. Because I would love to be able to just, like, hang out and chat with a very ambient environment. I think that would be really, really nice. You know, just being able to, like... I saw a video where someone had a sword. Where someone could, like, chit-chat while wielding a sword. I definitely wanted that. With YouTube, you can maybe add something on the top and bottom instead of letting it crop the days, I suppose. True. True. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because that's actually what I have to do for Etsy. Etsy's really annoying about that kind of thing. Because they want everything to be in a square format, and then you have to draw it larger so that when someone clicks on it, it will appear in the right format for the viewer. So I actually, I'm actually used to having to do stuff like that. This is definitely pretty tight because of how wide it is, but I know what you're saying. Or like this, let me see if I have an example. I had to do that when I was making my PNG tubers, with the fox especially. Where is that? Where's my fox? So, you have to design it in a way. I'll show you both and you'll see what I'm saying. So this is the PNG tuber fox listing that I have on Etsy, right? And you can see it's a square. So this I actually do not have on Etsy. This is what I use for Ko-fi. Because Ko-fi is a square and then you click it and then it's a square again. And then on Etsy, because they're stupid, I have to design it like this. Because on Etsy, you only see the square. You know what I mean? So the 2 inches on the left and the right are not visible on the listing. Or here, I guess this is how I'll show it. This is what the Etsy listing looks like when you see it, like, in the marketplace or whatever. And then, when you actually click the listing, it looks like this. And the reason is because if I didn't do that, then the listing will look like this. And we don't want that. I mean, imagine that this is also, like, you know, black on this side and black on that side. It'll actually be worse, actually, when I think about it. Yeah, that's how I have to have it, so that it appears this way. And if I don't, it would actually do this. That's what the listing will look like. Who designed that website? I don't know. A madman. A madman designed it. It's terrible. So in order to avoid this, I have to design it like this. And it looks dumb when you click on it, but there's no good way around it. But then on Ko-fi, they're fine with me just uploading this image, and then it stays a square, and they see a square and I see a square and we're happy. But on Etsy, you get that. So I'm used to adding, like, borders and tops and bottoms of things just to appease websites. It's horrible. Etsy, very evil, yes. The constellation lines in the background image don't rule each other out. If anything, some visual obstruction between the cards and the mural might be good. Oh, true, true, true. Yeah, I would have no issue with that. I do want to have, like, it would be really cool to have, like sparkle stuff, decoration, and then I could very nicely do that. There's no issue with that. And then, I'll probably have some sort of, like, glowing rim thing around here anyway. And then having it, like, just sort of decorated and glowy rim. See, if I don't decorate the cards too much, then I can still do enough where the text is still mainly standing out. And then I might also do something where it has a thin border, because this just always looks nice. You see this a lot, regardless. Just sort of framing everything. I did this on Taka's illustration too, and it just kind of makes everything look a little bit more polished. It feels less like things are falling, I guess, is the best way to say. So, just something like that. And then I could say, you know, schedule, because some people somehow, for some reason, don't realize what it is. Yeah. And then it just, this sort of looks like a draft of an idea, and then this sort of looks like cleaning it up a little bit and making it a real thing. Deliberately hide stuff in the margins. You could. You square, me square. I'm fine with the square format, but you have to stick with the square format. You can't just say, you know, we want the square format, and then when you click on the listing, then it appears like this. If you're gonna stick with a square format, just stick with a square format. But no, they decided they want some rectangles, some squares. If you're on a PC versus mobile, that's different. Sometimes it's a rectangle, sometimes it's a PC, a square. Different areas of the website are different. And then it's based on if you have an iPhone or an Android. It's the worst thing ever. It's the dumbest problem I've ever encountered in website design. And I'm not the only one who says this. There are plenty of Etsy sellers who say that Etsy is like the worst designed website there is. It's like, it's a problem. It's a huge problem, honestly. And also I agree with Vessa, we do need sword. I like swords. Blank, you've done HTML, CSS, that's cool. Another streamer created an avatar and environment that looked like a PSX boss fight? That's awesome. I love that. Oh, maybe we're thinking of the same person. Was it, Lillian, is the person you're thinking of, did the environment look like gray and purple? Cause that's the one I'm thinking of. It's like all gray and purple. Reject magic wand, obtain magic sword. ¿Por qué no los dos? Etsy needs to hire a better web designer. They really do. They really, really, really do. It's one of those things where, like, as a consumer, you probably wouldn't realize it. It probably wouldn't occur to you how bad it is. But then as a user, it's the worst thing ever. I didn't know you spoke French. No, I don't. I don't. That's the only thing I know. That's the only thing I know, and I probably didn't even say it correctly. I'm only memeing. I know you're talking about, but I can't recall the name. I'm thinking of Lena Lazar. Oh, really? She did something like that? That's cool. No, it's okay. Yeah, YouTube can be a little tricky with that. You definitely sound like a web dev having to deal with a million different screen sizes now. That is essentially what I'm doing. One of the reasons I want to switch, like, I had a Wix site at first, and I really didn't like it. I mean, I liked what I could do with it, right? I liked that I could make it really visually, I could make it really visually, unique. I could add a lot of things, and I could have things where I wanted them. But the worst part is that if you, like, I would send my website to a client, and, they would be like, your prices are cut off on my web browser. Like, just chopped in half. So it'd be like, oh, I do full illustrations for $3. So It was terribly optimized, because Wix just allowed you to have all the freedom. And then they revealed something where it's like, oh, we don't do that anymore. We now have all these special tools, so that's not gonna happen, and you can, like, make it all nice and modular and everything. And I'm like, oh, great. And they're like, that'll be $50 a month. Not great. $3, that's churros level. You know, fun facts, one of my first commissions was actually a full character with background, for 100 DeviantArt points, which for those of you guys who were not on DeviantArt, that was the equivalent of $1. I mean, I like what Wix can do, and I used to praise it a lot, but it's changed a lot. I didn't realize how much it was destroying my website, and now they've fully embraced all the tools with AI, so it's like, hey, we're the easiest website builder there is. How? You don't even have to build it. Just input the AI prompt to do it for you. I want no part of that. I want no part of that at all. I remember when DeviantArt points still meant something. Yeah. So, yeah, it was... Inflation in the art world is crazy. Yeah. I did something like that for $3. I think we all did at first. I think we all did. I think, like, when we were just starting out, it was the idea of, like, money is being given for the work I am usually doing for fun. I think we've all gone through that kind of thing. The basics of coding a site directly in HTML and CSS is way easier than most people think. I highly recommend it to people with their own website. I can't. I'm so visual. That was one of the things I loved about Wix, is it was like very drag and drop visual, right? And I could have things exactly where I wanted. But I was not able to, I was not able to do things with, I've tried everything. I've tried Wix. I've tried a little bit of, like, what was it called? WordPress, where everything is, like, much more manual. I've done things where it's drag and drop, but you're restricted into, like, grid boxes. I've tried all of them, and I don't like any of them. I think what I'll probably do at this point, after spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars of trying to find the best website, I think I'm just gonna go with a card site, to be honest. I'm tired. I've tried to design sites so many times. I've gone through like 5 different website changes and concepts and things, and I'm like, the only thing I have available right now is a VGen. If you go to starlightakari.art, you get a 404 because I could no longer afford to pay Wix. I think I'm just gonna get a card site, honestly. I didn't think I'd be the one to say that. I used to always really prioritize the importance of a website, the importance of your own place on the internet, the importance of, like, the professional mindset and wanting to, like, show how, to show that you were a serious artist that needed to be taken seriously and you didn't just have a DeviantArt portfolio, you had a website, like a real professional. And now I'm tired. I'm tired, guys. I don't wanna upkeep a website anymore. Just give me a card site. I'll make it look nice. I'll figure out how to learn it. I've seen card sites that I've mistaken for real websites. I know it's possible. I know that you can do a lot of really cool things with card sites. But I'm tired of paying for, planning for, trying to develop. I sent Kaku a tweet showing how someone made a card looks like a Y2K MySpace page. That's amazing. Having a website is cool, but if you're the only one making or working on it, it just takes so long. Who has the time? Exactly. I mean, like, I have learned how to make website. Not with HTML or anything, just visual. But I've made my own websites. I've designed my own stuff. I've laid out everything. I've had ideas for like 10 different tabs and every different commission option. And here's all the forms and here's all the visuals. And I'll throw in like some about me and lore and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And now I just see a lot of people just doing it with card sites. And it's like, yeah, you can sometimes sell their card sites, but not always. Some of them are really, really well done. But it's just like, I don't have time to design it anymore. I would love to someday have like a really nice, polished, beautifully designed website, whether that's something really expensive or just card, honestly. And I don't know. I would love to just find a way to make things easier. I think the other thing is, no one could have expected the explosion of VGen. I mean, I guess I could have, in the sense of, like, this is filling a very necessary niche that will probably do really, really well. But I think that people could not have expected how intense it would explode, right? Like, everyone and their brothers on VGen now. So it's, like... it is still good to have your own website, but it's becoming, like... in our space, specifically, in the VTubing space, VGen is covering a lot of bases. Now, to be fair, I still do want my website, at some point. I want to be able to have, like, a place for my TOS, and I want to be able to... mainly, I want to be able to avoid the double fees, right? So, I think it's still good to have a website if someone discovers you outside of VGen. But VGen is really great for marketplace, right? That's the main thing. Pumpkin Toss, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Anything you're passionate about or just part of the job takes time. If you don't want to do it yourself, you have to pay someone or use the machine or AI. That's true. Definitely not ever touching with the AI. But yeah, paying someone, that is true. But if you're a starving artist, you can't really afford to pay anyone. So, it's like, you know, at some point, I will figure out how to do card. I'll learn it. I'll do, like, a basic one, then maybe update it over time. I think I bought a Black Friday card site for, like, $10 that allows you to use your URL. Because right now my URL's going nowhere. Figuring out the layout stuff is the most labor-intensive part. Past that, it's basically just writing it down in the way the machine understands boxes and what's inside them. True, true. My main thing is, I can lay stuff out in this fashion. I can lay stuff out, like, sketching it. My frustration is when you have to fill the space. So that's kind of why I like this, because it's like, oh, the space is being filled by a giant illustration. But other stuff, like, if I was to do any of these others, it's like, okay, now I have to draw in the background. Now I have to draw in the visual. Now I have to, like, if we look at, these ones, like, maybe it seems simple to some people on the surface, but there's a lot going on here. I know I was saying that this part is simple, right? Like the line, the squiggle, the star, the squiggle, the line. But then it's like, you also got this element, this one, the time zone differences, these corner pieces, smaller ones, smaller stars, the detail of the text, the motif of the text. And then you have, this is okay because it's a giant illustration, but a lot of other times, like, I think, is this one more intense? Yeah, okay, better example. All this stuff in the background, filling the space, this is the part that I struggle with the most. This is the part where I never know what to do. Character, can do. Boxes, can do. Chat, UI, can do. It's this background stuff. It's this background stuff that always throws me. This is like, I always want to try to find out, like, how to fill the background stuff for the UI, right? This is what bothers me, it's the backgrounds. So 90% of the time I end up going with a gradient rainbow, and then not liking it. If you're not a person who does a lot of coding, that knowledge erodes over time, then it takes twice as long to figure things out again. Exactly. So I like the no-code style, and I was able to update it pretty easily, but, VGen's still faster, I'm not gonna lie. I relate the backgrounds are difficult. Here's the thing. I don't have an issue when it's, like, an actual background. If you want me to do, like, a background of a forest, or a village, or a volcano, or whatever, like, that's fine, I can do that. It's this abstract thing that I can't wrap my head around. This beautiful, crystally abstract swirls and motifs and glows, and this is the stuff that I actually struggle with the most, is just like, just this basic thing here. It's not a matter of physically doing it, right? Because once you see it, it's like, oh, I understand, I can break it down, I understand what this is. Crystals here, snow effects here, house, mountains, trees, blah, 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 and then, like, these waves. It's not that it's hard to replicate, it's that it's hard to conceptualize. I took an HTML class in college, I don't remember any of it, and I wasn't too good at the design stuff to begin with. It's hard, really. The design stuff is really difficult. This looks simple in terms of, like, knowing how to break it up. Like, I can see what they did. It's the conceptualization that's the difficult part, you know? It's the, it's just the, it's conceptualizing how this works, how this comes together, how you add all of these effects. Like, I can't even understand what goes into doing the text box like this. All this stuff here. This is crazy to me. I'm really inspired by it, but I have no idea how you get here. How to think of cool random geometric shapes that look rad. Exactly! Exactly! And I know that I'm not good at it. I'd love to be better. I love this whole, color aesthetic, though. I'm very inspired by this. This is what I want my overlays to feel like, honestly. I mean, me having this on the screen right now, look at how naturally that feels like it fits into the rest of my entire overlay, right? Doesn't that just, like, doesn't that just blend right in? I want to figure out stuff like that. It's so cool. The small bells and whistles are always the most difficult part of it. Yeah, exactly. Just try your best until it clicks. There you go, yeah. It's like, I want this so badly. It's so cool. I know that I can do better with my setup. I just don't know how to do it yet. So I think that one thing that I want to do is, like, I really want to try to reinvent all the overlays and things. Like, yes, I made the background thing myself here, but that was honestly just like a one-day slapdash thing. And it was a slapdash thing just so that I would avoid having to use my old one. But I want to reinvent things like this. I want to have fancy text box. I want to have, like, sparkles. I want to all the more intense things. All the stuff that the VTuber Senpai would say is absolutely meaningless. It's the stuff that I like. If I didn't know any better, I'd say I would have thought this was your art. I appreciate that. I'd hope to someday get to this level. But yeah, I mean, I want to redo my just chatting screen. I want to redo the background stuff. I want to make things that are, like, I can still make it subtle, right? I don't have to make it, like, really intense and in your face, but I want to make things look nicer, for like pushing everything together, being taken more seriously. Star craves sparkles. I always crave sparkles. Are you kidding me? I always crave sparkles. Also, I really gotta get a new logo because dang, that logo's old. At first, it's how to fill the graphic with stuff. Once you got that down, it's how to avoid filling it with too much stuff. Neither are very easy. Very true. Very true, honestly. The girls at Aero Studio do such a nice job. They are very talented, I will say. Yeah, if I could add a few more sparkles and a few more stuff to this thing, and just made everything feel a little bit cleaner and a little bit nicer, and then had, like, some symbols I could rotate between, I think this might be a good one. I'm thinking about it. I like these ideas here. I was thinking about these, more. But the more I think about this, the more I feel like it is, well, it's different. It's different. And I think that I could play around with it. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to have it at the same, intensity as, like, a regular illustration, right? But it might be nice to play around with. It might be nice to try something new in VTubing. I mean, at the very least, too, if I wanted to, like, make that full, and then I could just, there's another thing you could always do. There's always, options to these things, right? You can always do stuff like this. Have, like, some part of it full, have some part of it more hidden. There's different ways of doing these things. And then if this is glowing, then it won't be as distracting. It's different graphic styles and fades and gradients and things, and playing around with all that. But, I don't know. I think this might be fun to play with. I think these have a cool concept behind them. But I think that maybe for a schedule, I might want to do something where it's not super obscure. If you guys know me, then you understand this. But I do like, I think this might be something I might try playing with. I just made my laptop home screen Rotom, and it looks so weird and goofy. I love that so much. It sounds adorable. I want to get a new room for stream backgrounds. I'm thinking of a personal cabin room in the Astral Express from Honkai Star Rail with a window that shows space and is animated. Oh, that would be very cool. For my part, I'm absolutely obsessed with Art Deco, my beloved, which is a very popular choice when it comes to embellishments like that for VTubers at the moment. Very true, very true. I also think that, like, Genshin and Honkai are huge inspirations for that too, right? A lot of their designs use Art Deco. Started trying to convince the world she's mysterious by hiding her tail. No, I mean, I'm a kitsune. I very clearly have a tail here. I'm not hiding my tail. Although I probably should. Should probably do a better job of that. Art Nouveau's pretty cool too. More unique at the moment, but I'm not as well versed in that one. That's fair. I actually love the idea there's a Pokemon that just wants to be everyone's cell phone and stuff. I wasn't a fan of the concept at first. But it's kind of warming on me. I think I like it for everything except the Pokedex, because the Pokedex feels like it needs to be something separate, in my opinion. Didn't know Kitsune had wings? I am a unique Kitsune. There's reasons I have wings. Maybe someday I will regale that story to you. Alright. I think the best thing that I could do right now, probably, is, sort of sit on this idea. See how it goes. See what comes out of it. I think we will stop for the moment, because I can't really figure out where to go from here, and I think I just sort of wanna... I think I want to let this rest a little bit. So, tomorrow, we will be on IRIAM, and I might try doing more of the IRIAM chibis. I'm not really sure yet. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I think it's been a very productive stream. It wasn't productive in the sense of like getting the colors and stuff down, but I do think that this is actually productive in its own way. I think that this is pretty good. Also, thank you so much to you guys who have been on the YouTube side. It does help me a lot with the watch hours, so I appreciate that very, very much. We're almost at 800. So that's really cool. Only like 3,000 to go. But I appreciate your support a lot. So thank you so much. All right. With that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, evening, or night, wherever you may be in the world or the worlds beyond. And thank you so much, Stargazers. All the best.